Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. Good evening, mate. How you doing?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I mean, it's stressful. It is stressful.
Mm-hmm.
This week is stressful.
There's a lot going on. Short time frame between games and decisions having to be made. And then, obviously, the Premier League throwing up curveballs in the last 5 days.
Yeah.
No, we've had 2 double game weeks announced in the last 5 days.
2 double game weeks. I'd almost rather as well that the Man City game wasn't the first game on Saturday, because like the league just is so big that I feel paralysed to do anything until we find out whatever we find out about Saturday. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So I've pressed no buttons. Have you pressed any buttons?
I've pressed no buttons. Yet.
Wow. I said on the tweet earlier that one of us has Wildcard active.
Well, do you want me to press the button now?
So it's you, is what we're saying.
It's me. It's me. I woke up this morning and I went, well, I was thinking about it yesterday, and then I almost did it last night, and then I started having concerns about Liverpool minutes and stuff like that, which still does give me a bit of concern given the players that we're piling into. Like you know, 2 years ago, if we'd have piled into Salah, Mane and Trent, we'd have gone, cool, there's 540 minutes from 3 players. No problem at all. And now we're looking at Darwin. We're going, well, okay, cool. Gakpo's there and Diaz is there. And, you know, Jota, same issues. Could Salah come back? Maybe for one of those games, even for half of one of those games. Like, that will cause a problem. And then Trent, like, Conor Bradley's playing out of his skin. So do we go Van Dijk? And there's a cup final, and you know, there's just so much around that Liverpool team that it should be the team that we all flock towards and all focus on. But at the same time, just slight reservations that I'm only going to get 120, 130 minutes from my double game week players. But
the opportunity's there.
It is there,
isn't it?
But it's weird. It's a weird one as well because if you play, if they get 120, 130 minutes, they never ever get the 8 or 9 minutes at the end of a normal game as well. So you're actually cutting that off. So, you know, a 90-minute man is no longer a 90-minute man. He's more like a 98, 100-minute man, isn't he, really?
Yeah.
So anyone gets subs only gets 60 plus the first couple of minutes at the end of the first half.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not as many.
Yeah,
and there's tons of goals in those last few minutes as well, thinking of those.
It is. It's like X minutes are important. I mean, they always were. but there is some added spice to them in that, even in a small, like Monday night game, we can talk about that because we didn't talk about it Sunday night, but Monday night game, not owning Kev, I counted every second down of that injury time. Every second down. As Haaland had gone off, because you were like, at any moment here, this could happen. Every time he sort of dropped back a bit more, I was like, yeah, keep dropping back, Kev. Keep dropping back because I don't want you anywhere near it. I don't want you anywhere near that. But it feels so long, injury time. So having those players that are there to the end, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And I guess, on Liverpool, I suppose, is Darwin does do more minutes than Jota, but Jota's almost like strangely the one you fear, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
If you were
For sure.
like,
I mean, I haven't owned Darwin. I don't think I've owned Darwin the entire time he's been in the Premier League. This would be the first time I'll have owned him.
Ooh.
Can you imagine I bring him in for the very first time and he scores 4 goals in a game? That would genuinely be the greatest thing ever. I said at the end of last game week, I was like, can I just have one standout week? And that would be my standout week, even though loads of people will have him. I'll just cream over that.
Part of the stress of both of them as well, isn't it? Though, like if it's not the easiest thing in the world to own both of them. Like I think loads of us will, because the upside is just there. Would you be surprised if across 24-25, one of those two scores 30 points? Nah, I wouldn't be surprised. Potentially both do, but you'd be amazed if one didn't just go mad. And if you get the wrong one, you're like, oh, it's so big.
And this is it. I mean, it's always similar with City, right? I mean, you said you sat there on Monday thinking like, I just hate not having Kev. But like Foden, every time I looked at Foden, he was in advance of Haaland every time. And I'm like, and the pass inside for Foden, I was just literally sitting back in my chair. I just was like, oh no, that's hurt. That's hurt so much. That hat-trick goal hurt a lot.
When Phil goes through, he ain't missing. When he actually does get the chance in there, it's the thing we've talked about all season with Phil, is that he gets so many minutes, you're never exactly sure where he wants to play. But we've always said that like when he gets that one up there, and the best time for him to play up there is around Haaland. It's big. And it was really clever. I thought it was really clever. Like Haaland did such a good job on 3 centre backs. He just occupied them all. We took 2 of them off, and it was like, yep. Yeah. You just go sit in there, Phil. And even just the runs for it, the pass for Kev to Phil, like nobody's anywhere near him. He just ghosts him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we spoke about it. You said it. I mean, what was your comparison of those boys?
What the old Phillips and Quinn?
The old Phillips and Quinn. Remember
Phillips
that
and
one
Quinn back in the
Year?
business.
But
yeah,
it's weird because we've always sort of questioned. I feel like the football social media world has always kind of questioned like the number of minutes that Phil Foden's had under Pep continuously. But his minutes are growing every single season. His contributions are growing every single season. I mean, is it ridiculous to think that Pep is probably a better man manager than all of us put together, and actually just understands how to bring a young player into the world of football and just peak? Because he's just getting better, right? He's just getting better and better.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's incredible, Phil.
I won't be mentioning him again.
Ahead of this weekend, like you'd think we get a league ahead of the Everton game, and I think that's for me ahead. Your wild card for me ahead. The challenge will be, how do I not bring in Kevin De Bruyne if I know he's playing against Everton and then he's got a double? It's tough. They've obviously got Copenhagen in midweek next week, which potentially, I don't know. Need to try and get close with Luke without Luke. If you watch him, listening, mate. Anything appreciated, but like, is Pep more like to rotate before or after? You'd think the Chelsea game, he'd want it, but they're all at home. That's the beauty as well of City, is these 3 games, because 24-25, they're all at home.
Yeah. Copenhagen's not a big travel either. It's not a huge
one.
Fine. And it's, 3 days between
You're-
this game and the next game, and then it's 4 days before Chelsea. 4 days before Chelsea seems fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's the Saturday, Tuesday in it uh for this week.
Yeah.
So potentially there could be some rotation this week. Yeah, so tell the people why wildcard this week.
Various reasons. I think it all kind of stemmed like the kick in the teeth. Obviously, was the double game week being announced for Liverpool and Luton, which we thought was going to happen, and then didn't expect to happen after the Friday. We definitely didn't expect to have it happen over the weekend. Like nothing would have changed if they'd have done it, if they'd have announced it on the Monday. It just feels kind of sore that they announced it before the deadline. Like announcing it before the deadline just sucks, right?
Yeah.
Like after the deadline, you just go, okay, we didn't have that information before, and now we have that information, so this is how we act. So I'm in a position where I've got no Haaland, I've got no Liverpool, and that worries me. Basically, that's pretty much it. That worries me. There's also an opportunity with Luton having an extra game. As silly as this sounds, like Luton have got an extra game. They've scored 8 in the last 2, and they've got the best fixture of them all. Like for the same reasons that everyone's jumping on Liverpool this week, home to Burnley. Like Luton are home to Sheffield United this week. It's the best fixture.
I think the beauty about the wild card is that you can stash 2 Luton. So the obvious 2 are you get Kaminsky and you get Doughty, and you can stash them. You can hide them in 26. Yeah, and you can pull them back out again for 28.
Yeah.
And if you want to, like, you can play them in other games. Yeah, and you might get to play them in 29. So that they're a good stash. You know, I have seen a few with Adebayo as in there. I'm not sure on that one. And even the Ross Barkley one, I'm not sure on that one, because once they're there, it's like I kind of need them to play, and I need them, and it becomes more impactful for 26, because you want players that you can ideally from Luton that you can bench in 26 and get back out again, out the cupboard, as it were, for 28 and 29.
Yeah.
And I think for Luton, it gets a bit more difficult with Barkley and Adebayo.
Well, we're all continuously on 3-5-2, 3-4-3, which means you've got 2 defender slots. The keeper's obvious.
Yeah.
So it just that they make the most sense. I can understand the Adebayo ones. The Barkley ones, I think you're just creaming off of last week's points and thinking that's going to carry on, but I get it.
The problem is, say you get Haaland, Adebayo, and Darwin. They'd be the 3, wouldn't it? Like you then be like, well, I want Watkins in 26 because I'm missing out.
Yeah.
So you do Darwin to Watkins.
Yeah.
But then you're like, well, I still need to get Solanke in this team.
Yeah.
So what do? Take Watkins out to Solanke again after that, and then bring Solanke back for 20? Like it gets really confusing.
It's really with only 3 striker slots. It's just not very flexible.
And you've got
Watkins, you've got Solanke, you've got Tony in there as well, and Darwin. You know, Cunha's like putting his hand up as well. I mean, and he's one that you could play in these ones as well. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
But as you say, the problem is you've got Watkins and Solanke with the double. It's just like, well, pick your battles, right?
Pick your battles with it. But if for example, I think, well, I'll do a spoiler there. That if you say, for example, you started with Watkins, you've got the good fixture for 26. You potentially then, if you're free hitting in 29, like you can go to Solanke for 28, and who cares?
Yeah.
Or you can just get Darwin back, Darwin to Solanke, and don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of options. So yeah, I get it, mate. I think what this week has done is gone from everybody wildcard in 30 plus to there's a significant amount of people now looking at 26, 27, 20, 24. I don't think many looking at 25 for the wild card because it looks like a good chip week one way or another.
Yeah.
But so it's even now. And the good thing about doing now is you then get 2 free transfers potentially in 26. Or it's 26. The benefit of 26, if you wanted to offload Liverpool in full, and you had a load of players that weren't playing, So I'd say my team's more suited to 26 than 24 for wildcard. And I'm not 100% ruling that out, though. I wouldn't be a 26, 27er. Probably depends if I keep Spurs. Because if you keep Spurs through the blank, then you're like, what's the point in wildcard in 27?
Yeah.
It's tough. But yeah, I like it. I like it.
Good. That was a good opening. That was a good opening. Good opening 15 minutes. That I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
29. It's just I was hanging out a little bit in the analytics Discord this afternoon. And I noticed JC, so JC Spaceman does a lot really good graphics on Twitter. And he, fine player, the old massive data #1, I think it was last season. But he did a little graphic around how it might play out for 29. And I thought it was quite interesting because I've been just purely going off of the Ben Krelling graphic in terms of looking at percentages and seeing what could happen. And this doesn't make me disagree with any of Ben's stuff. If anything, it reinforces some of the stuff for it. But I think what it did tell me is there's still a load of possibilities of what can happen. So what you're looking at on this graphic here basically says the most common thing. So what we do know is Burnley Brentford happens. Regardless of anything else, it definitely happens. Tottenham Fulham happens. Villa West Ham now happens. We've got 3 fixtures in. Then Man United have got Forest. So we either end up with Luton Forest or we end up with Man United Sheffield United. Could be one of those.
Yep.
There's basically a 25% likelihood that we end up with the Luton Forest as the game, as the only extra game that slots into this 29. And then there's a 15% chance that the only game that drops in is Man United, Sheffield United. What that effectively says is that there's a 40% chance, if you add those two up, that we have 4 fixtures in this game week. So we have the 3 we know plus one of those 2. But there's still a 60% chance that we end up with something else. So another. And those range of possibilities are pretty big. So the most likelihood, based on the betting markets, is that we end up with Luton and Forest, plus we end up with Wolves and Bournemouth. We talked about that game.
Which is mad because that's the second most likely scenario, or third, I guess.
Yeah.
Third most likely scenario, but requires 2 games to go the same way.
2 games.
Yep. Mental.
That's more likely, though, than, say, for example, Leeds beating Chelsea and we ended up with Arsenal Chelsea.
Yeah.
Sandwiched in between that is potentially Palace Newcastle drops in to this one. Then we go the other way around. If, for example, Man United lost to Forest, then you've got the same round of 3 fixtures. So one of those ones, but any of those other ones could have huge impacts in terms of how we do. So if Wolves drop in, big. If Wolves drop in, it's big because they've got a really good fixture in 26. So people will just lump on Wolves thinking I can actually then play 29 and then I won't need a free hit in 29. Yeah. Newcastle, easy to get to. Palace, maybe not so much, but we can target Palace maybe. But as they're motivated back by then. And obviously, you've still got Arsenal, Chelsea that can drop. And then, even after you've done all the combinations of sitting with these, there's actually even ones that then start to say that Brighton and Man City drops in here, which is like a 2% chance, but it could do, or the Everton Liverpool game drops in here. There's like a 15% chance of 49 other popular things in this. What's that?
Villa away in game week 29.
Oh, yes. It's West Ham Villa, not Villa West Ham.
Yeah, someone's just pointed out in the chat, so I was just correcting that on the screen for everyone.
Yeah, but what it says to me is like...
So hold on, so the first 3 fixtures are the wrong way around. That's ridiculous.
Oh. Well,
whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. But they're the games. They're the games, they're the players. But what I like about it is that we don't know. I think we already feel like we know what's going to happen in 29, and we don't. We don't. There's still a 60% chance that there's there's a 60% chance there's a surprise extra fixture. And then, let alone, I think a lot of us are thinking, well, if I get Luton in, I've got double this. I've got a good fixture this week. I've got double in 25. I've got double in 28. And then I've got a fixture in 29. But Forest could beat Man United. All of these things could happen. So, yeah, this may confuse people more. But what I'm trying to say is we still don't know. We still don't know. Anyway, should we look at this week's fixtures? Because we do know them. And there's some biggies.
We can do. Before we do, we haven't said hello to everyone in the chat. We haven't said that if you enjoy our content, make sure you drop a like on this video and make sure you subscribe. And thank you very much for doing so. If you're listening on podcast, make sure you drop a review. I've been heading on to Spotify and looking at some of the private Q&A stuff, because apparently you can leave a question, a private anonymous question. And somebody said that I swear too much, apparently. I said I needed to find a vocabulary, apparently.
We do say that this isn't a pod for kids.
This is true. I had
a reason.
And if anyone's wondering which episode that was after game week 11, after I sold Doughty for a -8. That said, I don't know whether you heard about this, but I have been usurped.
Oh.
There was somebody who I think they took out Saka for Gordon, they took out Watkins for Haaland, and they took out someone else for Foden or something like that, and ended up -37 in the week.
You can see that.
I was only -31. I feel much better about myself now.
You can see that. I mean, there was some big swings, some really good players, self included. Bench Foden, partially because you just didn't know when he was ever going to play that number 10 role. Yeah. And then, yeah, Watkins, people sold him because they expected this. People sold Watkins because they thought they might get this 28 double, and they did get the 28 double. But by the time it's turned up, it's like, oh, just like, you know, and Watkins gets, what does he get? 18 points off 0.6 XG.
Yeah.
It's harsh.
Yeah.
It's a harsh week. And we could have more harshness.
Yeah. But as I say, if you like what we're doing anyway, make sure you hit a like, drop a subscribe. And as always, thank you to Crypto Blockdown for supporting the podcast.
Excellent, yes. And we are over 7,000 subscribers.
Yeah. I said I wouldn't be happy now. We need to move to 10.
On to 10.
On to 10. Games for this week.
Giveaways. Can you imagine the giveaways when we get to 10?
I have to think of something good for 10.
That's a lot.
It's not just going to be coasters and mugs. At 10, it won't be coasters and mugs.
Oh, it's big.
Got to help us get there. Yes.
Our man Rob T.
Beautiful graphic. Much. This is an improved graphic. I'm liking this, Rob. Much clearer to see fixture by fixture, I think, and having it like almost like with the key fixtures. I know it is in kind of time order. Actually, almost looks like the most important fixtures are in the top left-hand corner, and you work your way down, which is kind of nice this week.
That's the thing about this week, isn't it? It's out the blocks so quick.
Yeah.
It's out the blocks so damn quick. Interesting. So we've got, let's go the two big teams first. So Liverpool have an expected goals of 3.1 for this week and a 45% chance for clean. Huge. Massive. We have Man City at 2.75 goals and 47% chance for clean.
Yeah. They're guaranteed to concede, of course, but yes.
Yes, they're guaranteed to concede, obviously.
Okay.
But you can't beat those. You know, having players from those games is fantastic. For Man City, yeah, hopefully we should, because it's the early game, we should get some information that tells us who's playing or not. Imagine, like, let's imagine then, what happens if the leak is Haaland's out? What happens if the leak is Haaland's not starting?
That almost makes me not want to press the button yet. Because if I don't need to do that, then I just make 2 transfers for Liverpool players, and then we have some fun. It's weird. It's weird because it all kind of depends on this. But as I said, I think, did I say this before or before we started? Like, Alvarez had 5 shots on Monday. Like, City were ridiculous attacking. Five shots, and I'm just ready to bin him. Like, but
Yeah,
just
imagine the news comes in that Haaland is on the bench and Alvarez starts.
yeah.
Like, but how do you press the button, mate? How do you press the button before Saturday? Is it really worth? I don't know what the price changes. We have to look at when we go off this, but is it worth them?
Price
Because it's going
changes.
to
The price
ramp
changes are
tomorrow.
interesting though. The price changes are interesting because I tried all sorts of little things trying to make stuff work, and like Alvarez to Haaland and Trippier to Van Dijk, point one out. Like, because they've already moved. Alvarez has already gone down. Haaland's already gone back up. And like, there's so many that they are moving around. I'm hoping now, actually, because it's been quite triggering and people have moved a lot. Hopefully, these next couple of days should be relatively quiet. I don't think, I was checking on Fantasy Football Hub earlier, and it doesn't look like there's any real changes that are going to happen tonight, at least.
Let's play this out because I just think we should play it out. If Haaland doesn't start, would you cap Kev? But Kev does. Could be on pens. Could be on pens. Would you cap
Not if Alvarez
Kev?
starts, surely.
We don't know. We don't know. We haven't been in that situation, have we? We don't know. Like, but is it enough that you'd cap Kev over capping a Liverpool guy that you don't know if they'll start? Let's just say we don't get a leak for Liverpool.
But is it even Kev? I mean, is it or
is it Alvarez?
Is it Foden?
Is it Foden?
Like, or maybe it's not Foden because Haaland's not there. Maybe that's the
Haaland's not there.
Maybe that's the key. It's fucking hard, isn't it?
It's hard. Like, so, but people need to just be taking their head like this things of, yeah, it's all nice. We're all going to sit in this utopia. Everyone's going to start. But Darwin clearly wasn't fit when he played last weekend. When he came, like, he wasn't fit. Like if Klopp starts saying, oh, Darwin's still struggling a little bit with it, we're going to panic. Jota's been having ice on his knee every time he goes off. Like, I test these ones out because I feel like I probably should just get it in my head. Like, I get everyone in the head that we could get some information on the weekend that helps us do our plans, and all of it just pushes me into paralysis if we do absolutely nothing until Saturday morning. And yeah, my wife and child are off for the weekend, off to the in-laws Saturday morning, and I'm like, I hope you go before 11 o'clock. Because if not, I'm going to be really horrible. Yeah. See you later, love. I'm just checking my phone relentlessly.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter has dancing on a Saturday morning, and it starts at 10:40. So, but I'm there until 11:20, so I can from 10:40 to 11:20. I'm in my car, so I can just sit there. I'm good. But what I find is when I have that kind of time to myself with no distractions, I overthink. Pre-deadline, I just overthink.
I genuinely think I'm going to sleep terribly tomorrow. I think I'll sleep all right tomorrow, but I think tomorrow night I will sleep terribly.
Yeah.
It's big. It's big. But look, having players from these teams, this is why. Is it worth the gamble and going in on this week? It probably is.
Well,
it probably is.
Most people already have the 3 City. There's not too many people that I know that I've seen that don't have 3 City. Are you 2?
I'm 2.
Oh yeah, but you had
I'm 2. But would you get? Let's just say I don't go Kev, because I could go Liverpool attack. I can probably only do, say, Jota or Kev. I probably can't do both. Then it's like, so.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
like,
if Kev starts, then you get Kev. If Kev doesn't start, then you don't get Kev. You get Jota. But that's it, isn't it?
Would you get? So you'd prioritize Kev over Jota? Would you, if you knew he started this weekend?
If you knew he started, yeah. because you still
Yeah, I
get the
probably need to
double,
get comfortable
and
with
then you
that.
get 26. So, Jota's, you've got an extra fixture as well, and he's starting.
Let me tell you the easiest way for me to get Kev is to go Saka to Kev.
Which is tough because he plays Burnley in 25, but he's Arsenal,
And he's
so
expected
it's cool.
to get. They're expected to get 2.1 goals at West Ham this weekend. Like, I can try and convince myself in my head that Moyes will make that game terrible, but I'm also secretly in my head thinking, yeah, there's never a bad game for Saka.
Yeah.
There's never a bad game for Saka. But do I want Kev more over these next 3 game weeks than Saka? Yeah, I do. So I probably have to. So if Kev leaks, then I might have to do that. Whereas I could go Palmer to Jota in a much easier manner. But hey, guess what? Palmer's got Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are terrible. Like 1.7 expected goals for Chelsea. It feels like it should probably be more against them. It feels like it should be more. Palmer then plays false nine the other night, and they played really, really well with Jackson off the left. And you're like, well, they're gonna play that again this weekend.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Tough to lose Palmer this week. Would you rather lose Palmer away for me, would you rather lose Palmer this week, or would you rather lose Saka this week?
Who have Arsenal got in 26? Is it Newcastle? I mean, it's a fixture,
Newcastle,
but it's Newcastle.
Yeah.
Chelsea have got Palace, then who have they got in 25?
They've got City, mate, so nobody's playing. And then they've got blank.
Okay, yeah. So
But
then
this week alone,
Palmer.
it doesn't really matter past this week because I'll do another. They'll all be gone by that. But this week alone, I've got to try and make a choice on Saka or Palmer.
I would.
But Palmer goes to Jota and Saka goes to Kev.
You want Kev?
It's tough,
so do Saka?
Yeah, so it probably is. Anyway, these are the tough decisions we're all going to probably look at. If you're not on wildcard, you on wildcard, you kind of got to take the chance against Palmer, haven't you?
Yeah, I feel like and it's a tough one as well because I've got lots of money built up in Palmer as well. I got him at 4.9, so he becomes very expensive when I want him back, which I don't think is going to be until like 30, but still, it still kind of sucks. And there's players all over here that I can't have. So, like Newcastle, for example, like Trips will go, Gordon, if he's fit, will go. I still can't quite get Richarlison, and Son's back. Right.
Like, if you said to me, predict what the score is for Tottenham Brighton, what are you predicting?
4-4. Like, this is it's so stupid. Like, why don't I force if I'm wild, why don't I force one of them in?
And Tottenham Wolves next week?
Yeah,
I don't think that's much different. I don't think it is. Gary O'Neill's like a madman at Wolves, mate. He's a madman. He goes away, he don't care. He just goes for it.
I mean, we definitely do that. So, yeah, I mean, Tottenham. I said it on Sunday, didn't I? I said we've scored 35 games in a row. Like, why the hell would I not have Richarlison in a draft?
How do you have him when he's done playing? But I think Richarlison
as long as you can get him out.
Yeah. I think as long as you can get him out. I think you like, but Richarlison potentially, if you can stash him, he's a good stash. I do think it's a good stash. Like, I mean, people are going to say about rotation and minutes and so forth. I've said this on our Discord. I've said it in other places, but basically, the two people that think that Richarlison rotation risk are those that don't have him, or those that want to sell Palmer instead, or don't want to keep Palmer. Basically, if you want to keep Palmer, then Richarlison's definitely a rotation risk. If you haven't got him, Richarlison's definitely a rotation risk. But the fact is, he is playing like Brazil's number 9 because he is Brazil's number 9.
I wasn't convinced of this 3 weeks ago, even when he just started. Because for me, for like FPL, right? For FPL, sometimes you need to get on quite early, and You need to take
Mm.
that bandwagon as it comes. So, but for me in Tottenham, like a player can have 2 or 3 games. I'm still unsure, especially when they haven't shown anything in the past. So like Werner could score in the next 4 games, and I'll go, okay, well he's still not very good, but at least he's scoring.
Yeah.
But Richarlison's like all round play from a football perspective is just much better. Like
There was
the surgery
there was
fixed
a
him,
moment.
and away we go.
There's a moment in that City game, in the FA Cup game, where we went long and Rodri was on his back and he took it on the volley, like cushioned it and turned and laid the ball off. And I think it was Kulusevski or Skip missed the through ball to Kulusevski, but it was that touch at that moment. I was like, whoa, like that is on top of his game. It's just on top of his game, and everything I've ever seen since that touch has been like, this guy's just on all round. He's listening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does. It does look, and it looks like he's not that he's still got the bite, but he's lost the petulance almost.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, there's still a lot of chip on the shoulder. You can almost kind of see the amount of fire that's inside him, but it's almost like it's like that.
But it's manifesting in a positive way rather than a negative way, which maybe we're seeing as Spurs fans, but it definitely feels like it's more positive.
It feels like he is Swash. I'm going to do a film reference, which you won't do because you miss all films. But the Tom Hardy guy in Warrior, like as that guy, that's what he's like when you watch him when he scores. It's just like I'm in, I'm doing it. I'll see you later next round. I know that's over you, but for those that are there, they'll know. All the games are fun. Wolves Brentford looks fun. Luton. Let's talk Luton then.
Luton.
Do you go now?
1.9. Well, that's why it feels like now is the good time to go because Sheffield United is the game. Exactly the same logic behind Liverpool Burnley. I mean, it's not quite the same. It's not Luton aren't quite Liverpool, but yeah, it feels like now.
So tell me this. If you did, so Trent, let's just say Trent's okay, or you're going to have, I'll spoil it again, but you're going to have Virgil over Trent, but you're going to play him. Yeah, he's first on the team sheet. If you've got a City asset in defence, you're playing him first on your team sheet. That they're not an option this week. Would you play Doughty? 1 over Gabriel Saliba this week, and 2 over Porro this week?
I'd definitely play him over Porro, like without question. And
interesting.
I'd definitely play him over Porro, 100%.
Even though you think we're going to score 4 goals?
Yeah, even though I think we're going to score 4 goals, I'd still play him over Porro.
Because you think they're going to score 4 goals?
Yes, which means he'll start on 0.
That's what you're saying.
Maybe get booked.
22% chance of a clean. That's what it says right in front of my eyes.
How are we 22% chance of a clean?
Because we are terrible.
No, I don't even know why it's that high.
Well, yeah, to be fair, it doesn't require a lot to get there.
I mean, I know it says we're twice as likely to have. It literally says we're twice as likely to clean as Brighton. I can't believe that. I can't believe it. I mean, this game has goals written all over it. It really does. Would I play him over Gabriel or Saliba? I mean, maybe Saliba. Probably Saliba. Maybe not Gabriel. And that's probably a bit of bias because I've owned Gabriel. I think
so. You're telling me that I can get Doughty in and bench Saliba?
Yes.
And play Porro.
Play Porro.
I've got to play Porro.
Like, I honestly, when I was looking at, I haven't just wildcarded and away we go. Obviously, when I was first looking at like how can I maneuver my transfers, like I was looking at trips to like before I was priced out, I was looking at trips to Virgil and then Haaland to whatever, and I was probably playing Porro over Estupiñán just.
Yeah, oh yeah, you'd play him above that. But
if I was also looking at Anderson to Doughty and then benching Porro and Estupiñán. So
there's no chance I'd have Porro on wildcard, but I would have an Arsenal defender on wildcard.
Yeah.
probably tells me I should play Saliba. But what? Like if I bring, so I've got, if I brought Doughty in this week, I have the decision of, which I can do for free, of Porro or Saliba as my third defender. Fuck.
I would probably go with Saliba.
No, there's no chance I'm doing that. I feel like you're just doing that just to piss me. You're just trying to jab me. No,
I'm just convinced
no
we'll
chance my
concede.
biased mind is allowing me to do it.
I'm just convinced we'll concede a lot of goals.
Oh God. Oh
Convinced.
God.
We should look at
Yeah.
teams. We should look at teams. We're going 40 odd minutes. We should look at teams.
Yours.
No, yours, mate.
Oh, we want to get me out of the way, do we?
So this is you. So you have 2 free transfers. You have 4 million in
Yeah.
the bank.
Yeah. So I've got to do something. I've got to do something.
Yes. You got to move.
So
Will you not just start Kabore?
But I'm just a shit. But there is right. So team is Dubravka in goal. Saliba, Porro, Trent currently. Saka, Palmer, Foden, Richarlison, Watkins, Solanke, Haaland. With Haaland captain at the moment. I've got Garnacho first on the bench. I've got Gusto and Kabore. I've still got this issue that I've got Gusto, Kabore, Porro, and Trent, all that don't play in 26. So I've got 4 defenders that don't play. I've then also got 2 midfielders that don't play. So if I brought Darwin in for, say, Watkins or Solanke, not even sure which one at the moment. I don't like the idea of losing Watkins for Man United at home and Fulham away. I really don't like the idea of that. So I think it would be Solanke with a view that I then would have to bring him back. And then effectively that's a -8 added to Darwin's head for him to start. But do I think that he could do it? Yeah, he could do it across those 2 games. He could. Is it enough for me to bring him in? I don't know. I'll work that out. But it also means that I've another player down. So I'm already like 6 players down in 26, and then I'll be 7. So I would need a -8 to get to 11 in 26 if I did Solanke to Darwin. That's not ideal. I could do Palmer to Jota. That's a really easy move for me, apart from the fact that do I expect Palmer to return at Palace? Yes. Yes, I do. So I could leave that a week, see how I feel. I could even, a week deference on Jota means that I would, get a bit more news about Mo. Is Mo potentially going to play some minutes in the double, which might then impact the minutes of everybody else? There is that. And then what I also could do is I could do Solanke to Kev, which, Saka to Kev, which is probably starting to creep up on me. It's dangerous taking Saka out in it, but it's dangerous in any game. But if I looked at this week, I could do Saka to Kev with 1 transfer, have a few million in the bank to work out what to do after that. But I do look at it and say, should I do a defender, one of Gusto or Kabore to Doughty? Because they're not playing in 26 anyway. So it's like, it doesn't help me for 26, but it's a bit of fun. And it means I get all of the fixtures, and I would likely carry him through. And then I probably would bench Saliba.
Okay.
It's risky though, isn't it? It's risky benching Arsenal defence when you know it's so well owned. I don't know who I would do Gusto or Kabore. Probably I need to touch base with someone like Bricky or any other Luton guys around if they think Kabore might get back in, but I don't think they will. I don't think he will. Do you run the risk that potentially by 28 Kabore gets back in and you've suddenly got potentially a player that doubles in 28 and might play in 29, or do you take out Gusto?
It's difficult when you've got to carry him through.
Place.
It's difficult when you've got to carry him through 26 and he's blocking a double spot potentially as well. That feels tough. Yeah. I mean, there's no guarantee he's going to play, right? So, I mean, as much as I'd probably not want to do this, I'd even move him on to someone who at least plays in 26.
Yes.
Right. So just
Which,
like anyone.
but,
So you can pick Wolves defender, you can pick Brighton defender, you can.
but you can't help but feel there's a 12 minimum. There's 12 pointer at least in Doughty this week.
Well, yeah, then you would
that,
just do
that
that.
might just go, like, he might just do it this week, and then whatever he gets in the double is a bonus, and you've got cash in the bank, like, almost, that you're there. Is that even if you then didn't play, like, I'm quite open to only playing 2 defenders in
26.
in 26.
Yeah.
Because I think it's better. It would be better than transferring out Porro, who's going to come into a really good set of fixtures from 27 and plays in 29, and the 2 Luton guys.
Yeah, I don't.
I'd probably just take Trent out and play with 10.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
So it's tough.
It's tough.
Okay. I doubt I am. The question I think is, will I free hit in 26? I don't think so. I don't think I will. Despite my team being crap. I definitely won't free hit if I get Kevin. Because once you've got Kev Foden and Haaland in, you're like,
I've got them.
Got the boys. I've got the boys.
Yeah, I've got them.
So let's get to you.
So this is me. So just a reminder of what we were saying at the start. I've got one free transfer. Last week I took Trent out for trips, which worked from a points perspective. And then double came in and made things a little bit awkward. So I've got a load of money in the bank. Dubravka, Porro, Gabriel, Trippier, Saka, De Bruyne, Palmer, Foden, Alvarez, Watkins, Solanke, bench of Areola, Gordon, yellow flagged, Stupinan and Anderson. So we've both got a defender that's just sitting on our bench that's just really awkward, that we don't really want, but just kind of sits there, and
yeah,
it's just a bit of a pain in the arse.
And a Stupinan doesn't look
like game week 1 to 8 Stupinan.
Yeah, and you've had some benefit from it as well. That
yes.
8-9 pointer, whatever it was, you've had that.
But then we've also had the prime fixture. We've had the Luton fixture as well, which they got battered in, and he didn't even play, did he? Did he play in that one? He did play in that one. No, I think he did play in that one.
Oh, he did play in that one.
He played in that one and got dropped for the next one. So it's like even worse.
He played and came on. So yeah, he's come on in one and then came off in the other.
Yeah. So it's not ideal. Obviously, I've got an injured or semi-injured Gordon with a twisted ankle. No Liverpool, no Haaland. And yeah. So
it feels like it makes sense. Now, like, look at this, I'm like, yeah, get it. Because when you initially said it to me, I was straight into like, you've got the free city that everyone, man and their dog would love to have. How can it possibly be? But
I don't have
there's
the
a lot around the edges. Oh no, you've got 2 City. You've got the 2.
Exactly.
I just saw the blue.
Yeah. So if I had Haaland, if I'd have had Haaland, I probably wouldn't be doing. Probably that's it. I literally probably Haaland away, because like I would have had other other players elsewhere would have been different, because
but
but
it's Haaland and only having one transfer, isn't it?
Yeah, Haaland one transfer, no Liverpool. It's just like it's when you look at your team and go, this is shit. It needs to change. It's weird though, because I've got like a lot, like this team, like ridiculously. This team, how good is this team, by the way?
As an 11, like I say, if you somehow got a leak that says Alvarez starts,
yeah, it makes pressing the button like, and as I said, add the Liverpool minutes thing, and I'm just like, it's hard to do it straight away. But I need to be ready and. Be ready to sort of just go on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
But I need to almost have written it down. I need to write it down somewhere. I need 2 devices.
We might get enough by tomorrow, though, mightn't we? Leaks have been quite early. I think we might get some information tomorrow.
One thing I would like to say to all the guys that develop the plan apps and stuff like that, if there's any way you can put an import and export type thing on if there's anything there from the API, you can go click and it just fires into your team in the FPL website. If you can develop that so that people,
mate, they'd get sued if they could do that. Like, because you'd be like mucking about and then suddenly you'd be like, I press, hold on. Pete's done me. I'll be suing Pete. I'll be all up. That's Pete. Peter, FPL team has ruined my season. I was just mucking around.
No, but I mean, if you have the if you have a secure login to your thing and you have the option to import your transfers into the FPL website,
He's not getting sued, mate. Someone will blame him. Someone will say it did it. Someone will say
I would love
AI did it. A bot did it.
I would love it. Someone will do it at some point.
Yeah.
So this has to change.
So where you at?
And so this is something. Here's one I put together last night. So this is kind of just draft A / well, this is like version 2 of draft A, to be honest, because there was a couple of changes. So my core is basically Kaminsky plus a keeper. I've currently got Martinez. I just like the idea of having Martinez. I mean, that could be Flecken, but I just hate. I think you've projected your hatred of Flecken onto me so much that I'm just like, nah. So, but Martinez is a bit more expensive, but great keeper, so he could do the business. And then I've basically just gone full ham on City and Liverpool, obviously. So I've got Van Dijk, Jota and Darwin, De Bruyne, Foden and Haaland. So I've got Haaland here. In terms of Luton, I've got one outfield at the moment, so Doughty. And then I've still got Gabriel. And I've got 2 Wolves in Neto and Kilman. And then I've got Doug Luiz and Van Heck. So Van Heck is just basically the Brighton, but cheap. As cheap as possible. 4 mil, like, what are you going to do? Wolves, it's a tough one, especially after you said you're going to bench boost them against Spurs. I'm like, I feel bad now, but
the thing is, it's only one. Like potentially, you bench boost in.
I think I almost certainly bench boost in 25 if I do this.
But soon you get injuries. Like, I know I'm always the doomsayer of saying like injuries this and injury that and all that could happen, but I do think we've been in this before where suddenly it's like, oh, this is fine, but City play a game in midweek. Imagine Haaland gets his foot trod in midweek.
But that's going to happen to everyone, mate. That's not. It's like, I know.
Something can happen in a week. That means that everything has to fall in line to be right and be there.
I think it's really tough to say don't plan 1 week in advance. Like, I think because of stuff that's not happening.
Oh, you can plan for bench boost, but it doesn't. But you've all obviously got the get out of triple captain. You've got the get out.
Yes. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
On it. So.
And yeah. In this one, like Neto and Kilman and Doug Luiz, they're kind of Neto, Kilman, Doug Luiz, and Martinez are kind of like 4 players. They're just 4 players, right? They could be Neto, it could be Hichan, it could be Gross, could be like. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. They're just players at this point. But the key ones, I originally had Saka and Walker, and a bit more money, but.
Yeah.
Honestly, having KDB and Gabriel makes so much more sense because Arsenal's defence is better. They've become a good set of fixtures coming up, and not having Saka over KDB seems bizarre when you're wildcarding. I'm not forcing you to do that move this week, but when you wildcard, it seems silly not to. So this is kind of where I am at the moment, or I have looked at the moment. In my head, and of course things can change, it would allow a roll and a bench boost in 25, and then 26 gets navigated with 1 transfer. And then you can start to prepare for the double game week 28 as well, which is nice. So the Solanke move in, you don't get many points from it, but it's only 1 transfer to get here. And, from my perspective, this looks like a really, really good, like I've got 8 players playing at home, and then I've got 3 City players playing away.
It's incredible, mate.
So,
as a man that has no players for this game week, it's incredible. It's effectively, we all will have at least 1 Arsenal defender in 26. We will want to have triple City, whether that's 1 defender and 2 stackers or 3 attackers.
Watkins. Everyone will have Watkins.
Everyone will be in everyone's team. Solanke probably end up in everyone's team, even if they've gone off it, because they just need to get back on it. ready for it.
Yeah.
Even if it's there. So you're effectively gaining, and most people will play Areola. Is it Areola's got the better game? Yeah, West Ham home to Brentford. So most play
Mm.
so Areola will be hugely owned in that week. But you're getting the edges, but you're also probably gaining about 6 points on the crowd, like because most people are like -4s, somewhere between -4 and -8. And I've been saying this on Twitter, I've said this other places, like people look at free hit 26. It's not about that. It's about what it gives you extra in 25 and 20 and 24. It's about that part. Like, there's a load of people that will say, oh, but I will have 7, 8 of those players. And you're like, yeah, but I will have these players in 24 and 25 without hits that you didn't. Like, there will be the odd person that says, no, I've got all those as well. And you're like, well done, mate.
Yeah.
Because you were really good at planning. You're better than me at this game.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not winning it.
Yeah.
But those people really are isolated. It
Yeah.
looks really good to me. Keepers, I hate Flecken. But does it just make sense if you think you're going to bench boost, that you get a double and then you get West Ham away, which isn't a bad fixture, and Burnley away in 29, in case you don't end up free hitting in 29.
But then you get. So then it's West Ham. So
you've got that really weird thing of in 27, right? Do you start? Which keeper do you start in 27?
Well, start Martinez in 27 in this situation.
Well, you'd start Martinez away at Luton over Kaminsky at home to Villa.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Do you not think Luton will score at home?
Do you not think Villa will score away at Luton?
But they're in the same fixture. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like such a dangerous fixture. I don't know. I think if you bench boost is the big thing. Like, you've got a chance to get double for cheaper money.
Yeah, I mean, what you could do. I mean, Martinez could be Raya. To be fair,
Martinez could be Raya. But double.
Yeah,
I want double on a bench boost. That's what you want.
Yeah, that's kind of okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. Do I not have double?
Yeah.
No, I don't have double, do I?
No, you're gonna have Villa who are away at Fulham.
Yeah.
Away at Fulham.
But then, like, what am I going to get? City and.
Yeah, but Flecken, how many points did Flecken just get at home to City? He got a load of points.
Yeah, but 14 saves, wasn't it? Was it 14 saves?
Something like that.
4, 6.
I think he got like 7, 8 points. I can't even remember any other points. It was about 8 points.
4, 6, couple of bonus, 7, 8, less 1, 7. Might have got 7 points.
So he could do that again.
Yeah.
It's just on save points alone against Liverpool and City. You think he's probably going to get, on save points alone, he's probably going to get 8 points next game week. God, as much as I hate him, I probably would just get Flecken.
It's tough. So, but as I did say, and I did caveat, Martinez is keeper. He's not necessarily Martinez. Martinez, Neto, Kilman, and Doug Luiz are just 4 players. The rest is kind of where it is. It's Kaminsky, Doughty, Van Dijk, Gabriel, KDB, Foden, Jota, Haaland, Watkins, Darwin, Van Heck.
Yeah.
Van Heck's just there. Van Heck's like sold there because he's cheap. So.
Yeah. Kieran, FPL Discomfort, said about Saar as a Martinez. Like, you could do Saar and I think I like Saar and Marino. Is that more money or less money than Martinez and Kilman?
Oh, that's not a bad shout, actually. I'll remember that.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Like if you said to me I could change Kilman to Moreno and then get Martinez to Saar, quite like that. A Saar penalty save. He loves a penalty save. I mean, Martinez has done quite a few big penalty saves, but
yeah, it's 0.4 more, but yeah.
Yeah.
kind of blocks a few things. I mean, it's
Fleck
the
got
thing it
10
does
points
do.
apparently in that
The thing
game.
it does do is it makes Salah more difficult at some point. But I guess what I do to get Salah is I just drop Virgil down, I drop Van Dijk down, KDB goes, Salah comes in, and I just go into defence somewhere else.
Yeah. So, and all aboard the Tottenham train for 27.
Yeah, Foden to, well, I mean, if I lose more money, then it's more difficult going Foden to Son, which I can't actually do. I have to go back to Richarlison, which is fine.
Oh, De Bruyne and Foden.
Well, yeah, but if I don't,
Foden,
De Bruyne, yeah, but then I don't get Salah, right? So
we can get Salah at 30. We'll find a way.
Well, people with wildcards might be able to, but I won't be if I've played my wildcard.
We'll find a way.
We'll find a way. Villa Ikonen says, don't play your wildcard, you'll be better off. I mean, let me just go back to this quickly and then just say, like, what would you do? Because, I mean, and drop that in the comments. Like, what would you do with this team? 1 free transfer, 6.9 in the bank. It's there for you to just, please give me some suggestions. It would be good to see, because I won't be hitting that button yet because of the City potential additional information we will get.
I genuinely think it's a good move. Yeah. A good move. For those as well in chat, or those that are newer to us as a stream, I've said this a few times, but one of the things we've talked about before is I've always felt that as a player, you are better at an early wild card, got your stuff out of the way, and then it's bang, 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 and chase certain fixtures and certain things. I always felt that style-wise, it's there. Me, who is very nervous and does lots of I've got to tinker through a million different things. I often impulsively wildcard, and whenever I impulsively wildcard, it's always shit. It just never works because it doesn't suit me. It doesn't suit the way that I play. I want to take as much time as possible for it. I want to deliberate over a lot of stuff. That's just me more of it. Whereas I think actually once you've got a few things out of the way, like you said to me this morning about getting bench boost out of the way immediately, I'm like, I get it. Because then it's like bang, 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 concentrate on 11, concentrate on 11. It's off this season. Just concentrate on 11. I think that's really been a really big learning curve for me seeing on that. Like he even got Matty Cash back this week. Like I've been saying, like he's been carrying Matty Cash for like 10 weeks. And now suddenly Matty Cash has got a plum fiction 26.
Yeah.
Like, because he's just constantly working with them. He said a really good thing. I watched a bit of The Wire earlier about like he's kept Archer because he doesn't want an 8 for Taka. Like I was immediately like, I need an 8 for Taka because 26, and I got somebody put Garnacho in for 26. Not I didn't get the points that he scored last week. I just had him on the bench. Whereas he's like, no, I won't have that. Like, because I'd then have the option of like, oh, do I bench Foden? And then I'd be all pissed all week and stuff like that. I do think this is for you in the sense of wildcard looks sensible. It then lays into the way that you play the game. Good.
Cool. I'm comfortable with it. I think my team, my emotion, or something like that.
Someone actually messaged earlier and said my wild card, my emotion. I loved it.
Yeah, that's cheers. You've sold me up the river with that one, mate. It's been everywhere.
I was scared more this morning when you were like, I'm not sure about Kev type stuff. I think you have to wait on the leak on that one.
Yeah, I think having realised very quickly actually that getting that Arsenal and City the right way round. I don't know why I was fixated on Walker as a having City defender, and then I thought, well, actually, no, I just don't.
Expensive now.
Yeah,
you know he's going to hammer it in this. You know he's going to but he's bloody expensive to bring in now, Walker.
Yeah, it's quite expensive. Cool. Well, we've our short podcast is an hour and 5 minutes so far. That's wildcard week, so.
It's wildcard week, so we'll timestamp it.
Got to take a bit of extra time. Yeah, so I guess thank you for joining us. Again, if you do have comments, just drop them in the chat below or in the chat after the video. And, we'll do our best to reply to everything, particularly in the first 24 hours. And I mean, definitely, we're always looking, aren't we, tomorrow morning to see what comments have come through. And if you've enjoyed the content, make sure you drop a like on the video, hit subscribe if you want to see more. Make sure you review podcasts on the audio platforms. That would be great. Whatever you're doing for game week 24, whether you're wildcarding or not, very best of luck to you, unless you're above me, in which case I want to chase you down. It's how I play the game, mate. It's how I play the game. And yeah, anything else to add, mate?
No, good luck.
We'll see you on Sunday. Cheers, mate.
See you Sunday.